Minister's voice. And over here we have an old electrode that was a failure. However, we can turn this around now. This is a solution of oxalic acid and sodium fluoride. Now I have this cathodically connected because what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the lead dioxide on the surface and use this to basically attack it, then soak it in dilute nitric acid to finally get rid of it. So I'm first going to do that and we'll see in a bit. In this electrolyte, graphite is the best electrode. You can see that all of the spots are turning white, which is the lead dioxide that's still attached to it converting into lead oxalate. And you can see that the graphite anode survives these conditions well. It does not even care, honestly. But yeah, we just leave it in this solution for a while to get rid of anything that's ruining this. And once we get a nice and clean titanium surface free from any other metal, it will then proceed to the next step, which is where we're actually gonna coat it with our special mixture of tin and whatever else. You can see in this video over here that despite it being cathodically polarized, you can see the titanium slowly dissolving in the oxalic acid and sodium fluoride mixture. This is exactly what we want. This is how the etching process works in order to ensure that we have some proper etching going on. So yeah, you can see more of it is falling down, and this will go on for a while until this anode is, this electrode is fully cleaned. So it turns out there was a problem when it came with the solution right now. The electrode seems to have large chunks of oxide still in it, so you have to reduce all of that to lead first. Because if we continue with the other solution, it will end up just plating it like unevenly, and will end up with some eaten and etched away things with divots and pits all over, which we don't want. So what I'm doing right now is we are using sodium hydroxide to reduce everything on the surface, it running as a cathode like the other time, but we're going to do it in separate steps just because of how dirty this electrode is. So I've changed the electrode to this copper coated gouging rod because the graphite was eroding because it's sodium hydroxide. I've also upped the current to about 4.5 amps, which yes, is already reducing everything on this surface, which is all good. Once it's all reduced, we can then begin the dissolution process of the lead. Yeah, you can see at the back everything is turning a nice gray color. Once that all turns a silvery color, we're ready. I'm also going to flip the electrode after 20 minutes and then on there we'll be done. You can also see that on the surface over there, that's also turned gray. It's no longer brown. So yeah, even that's getting reduced to lead metal. Everything gets reduced to lead metal. There's still these spots though. Maybe from the other side it will be better. Okay, so there's voice. Now you notice that after some time, this copper is now cleaned. That's besides the point. You notice that there's a lot of hydrogen evolution occurring at the counter electrode. That's not just because I've raised the current. That means that everything is fully reduced on this side, because now the cell is emitting hydrogen. So now what I have to do is I have to turn it over just to get it even. There's no real other reason. But yeah, I'm going to flip the cathode now so that I can get the other side. Then the next one, I'm going to show you the next step, which is putting this into a bath of nitric acid in order to get rid of everything else. Now over here though, we can see that some graphite has indeed started to get eroded, but that doesn't matter. Some copper is also plating onto the titanium. That doesn't matter either. The nitric acid's gonna take care of that. You can see that after rinsing, this electrode looks terrible. It's black, but you can see some shiny pieces of metal. It's probably black because of the copper, but that doesn't matter because I have a bath of nitric acid. It's gonna be not terrible no longer. I've also washed it first so that I don't end up wasting the acid. This is just nitric acid. So once it's left in here, it will slowly react. It's not very concentrated because I'm trying to save it. I'm just using dilute nitric acid. Maybe I'm going to add some peroxide even. But yeah, slowly the lead is going to react. I see some bubbling occurring already, which shows that this process is working. Anyway, the very next step, once I've dissolved everything that can dissolve in this mixture, is to finally re-etch it in the sodium fluoride bath. You can see there's some bubbles going on over here. I'll zoom in. It's very subtle, but you can see bubbling happening. Yeah, it means everything is reacting slowly. You could also notice that there's some silvering of the titanium. This is also to be expected. So now the electrode has been placed into a bath of nitric acid that's diluted, just so that I save on acid. Because even though I can make some, it's kind of annoying. Anyway, you can see that there's some bubbling going on, which means that all the metals are slowly reacting. It looked dreadful after plating it or after reducing all the metals, but at least it's in a form that can be reduced. The black is probably due to the copper. After this stage, the next stage would be to convert it into, to re-etch it in the sodium fluoride bath before plating it with our special mixture. So it looks terrible right now, but at least the metal looks clearer, but we still have spots of lead dioxide. There's only one thing that can reduce that right here. And then it's back to the nitric bath. If it produces titanium dioxide, that doesn't matter because again, we have the sodium fluoride. So now this electrode belongs in one of those knife channels. You can see the nice rainbow coloring on it. The reason why I did this after and not initially is because if I do it initially, it's going to produce a cloud of fumes of cursed metals. Meanwhile, if you do it with just a little bit remaining, it's more likely to just produce tiny beads of metal, which then this electrode is going to be re-soaked in nitric acid and etched in NAF. Alright, I'm probably really confused as to what's happening right now. This is a sonicator. And since this matte layer is hindering a lot of stuff and also causing uneven dissolution, I'm going to use sonication to my advantage. You know, the worst part about this device is I can barely hear it. Like in the video, I noticed that the device sounded like a damn jet engine. Well, I mean, most of the sound it's making is above the human range, but that's fucking scary. So yeah, you can see that we're really doing something to this. I've also checked that the circuit, and in fact we are indeed getting a nice surface. Not only is the surface nice, it is also pre-etched as if it's been sandblasted. This is actually very good. This means that I might even make a better electrode than my last one. Oh, you can see that this electrode has been thoroughly etched. There's no longer any weird spots on it, except for these, because those are spot weld spots, but I don't know, just also some parts that are not completely etched, but you know what? This will do. Sure, you'd want a perfect piece of titanium, and you don't normally have to put in this much work to clean it, only because this was a failed electrode. If you did everything right from the start, you'd only have to put it in here like through 4 cycles instead of 10. So yeah, after you've got your etched electrode with that nice etched surface finish over there, look at that. The next step would be the plating. So I'll try to film it. And I can't do it indoors. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get something to film it with.